You're watching YCN, your local view. Program airtime is underwritten in part by Bar Harbor Bank and Trust. Looking to purchase your dream home, finance your business, or just find a better checking relationship? Our New Hampshire team is here to help you. We make award-winning banking happen every day. Contact us to see how we can help you. Member FDIC.
Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, and for the next 2 weeks, our show is hosted by Barton Insurance Agency. Barton Insurance Agency has been serving the insurance needs of their clients for over 70 years. They're an independent agency that specializes in quality and competitive solutions for auto, home, business, and life insurance. Ben Barton, the owner, will join me to discuss the value of buying your insurance locally. Cathy Raymond will tell us about the 2025 Women Who Make a Difference Luncheon and how you can nominate a deserving woman. Amanda Leslie and Rebecca Hemingway will give us a rundown on Kearsarge High School's Career Day. Wally Borgen will tell us about the SKIT Radio Dramas Reprieve last weekend. Don't go away because spring is knocking on our door, so you won't want to miss this week's edition of your Yankee Chronicle.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you from Barton Insurance Agency right here on Main Street, and with a guy that needs no introduction at all, Ben Barton. Hi, Ben.
Good morning, Abby.
Thank you for hosting us, as always. We love coming to see you.
Happy to have you here.
And what are some of the things happening in the insurance world? I mean, we were talking off camera that it's not really an industry that you're just seeing all these new products show up. You're not selling cell phones where it's looking for, new cases and chargers. It kind of stays status quo, but there are still things that are happening.
Things happen a lot, and we're really a reflection of the society. Mm-hmm. We're not trendsetters by any means.
Sure. You're a necessity.
We're a necessity. It's a dues-paying process. We all know that. And the changes that you just talked about are more or less economic changes, and we are in a inflationary period, and you have to expect that the goods and services that the insurance claims payments are paying for will reflect that. Mm-hmm. And that comes back to your premiums. And I'd like to just make sure that people understand it's not that the agency wants to have higher prices.
Sure.
We certainly do not. But we do know they're coming.
Yeah.
And if you've had a contractor at your house recently, you know that the cost of construction is not what it was 5 years ago, and never mind 10.
Yep.
So these are the things that get reflected in premiums, and you have to be anticipating that.
Give me an example.
The general public should be most concerned about liability. Liability limits need to be well beyond the state minimum limits of $25,50, meaning $25,000 per person, $50,000 per accident. In case there's a significant bodily injury in an accident that you've caused. That's liability.
Got it.
And that is nothing when you go into the intensive care room for 4 days.
Yes.
So preparation of the policy by the agent to make sure you have the proper liability limits is critical to your financial success and anxiety level should an accident occur.
And it's good to know that you're protected by that.
You're protected by your liability protection for bodily injury and property damage. And critically, you should have a personal umbrella policy to give you that catastrophic event that's very minimal in cost and gives you that peace of mind.
So if someone's watching and that makes them spark, I should check that. You need to give your insurance agent a call to make sure that you're covered beyond the minimum.
All of our clients that own homes are offered a personal umbrella liability protection part because the home is at risk. If you own things personally, everything personally is at risk. If your limits don't cover the exposure to the claim, it's going to come out of your house. You're going to be selling your house. You're going to be draining your retirement assets. You don't want to do that when the cost of an umbrella policy is $300 a year.
So don't
for
wait.
2 cars and a house.
So you're saying don't wait until it's too late. Too late. If someone's watching and they're saying, I'm not sure what to do with my insurance policy right now, or I'm worried about it going up, is that someone that can call you and you can kind of navigate them through these waters?
That's absolutely right. We compare and contrast coverages. We want to make sure that the essential coverages are there, and companies are niche marketed companies these days. So there's a lot of room for cost comparisons and making sure that you're either not overinsured or most importantly underinsured, and have the proper coverage in place when you need it. Because it's of no use if you don't have the right coverage. And that's my message to those who are surfing the net to find out what the lowest rate is on your insurance coverage, because you don't know what those terms are. You don't know what those coverage endorsements should be to make your coverage a 100% pie.
Cheaper doesn't always mean better.
You get what you pay for a lot of times, and the basic policy is not going to be what you need. Right.
And in insurance, it may be too late that you figured out that you weren't covered appropriately.
It's after the loss.
Right.
That's not when you want to find out if your coverage is fully up to date.
Right. Thank you for joining me for this first 5 minutes. We're going to be back next week. We'll talk about assessing your needs. What do you currently have, and is it right for you? And Ben Barton, thank you for hosting us.
Thank you, Abby.
When we come back, Cathy Raymond from the Lake Sunapee Region VNA will let you know how to get involved in this year's Women Who Make a Difference Luncheon, with nominations still open. But first, please listen to these words from a business that helps underwrite the cost of your Yankee Chronicle. Buy local, because that's the way to support those that support your favorite events and activities.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications.
Welcome back, Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. Many of you know a woman who makes a difference. Cathy Raymond will tell us how you can get them recognized.
The Women Who Make a Difference Luncheon is happening again for the 26th year. We had our 25th anniversary last year. The date is Wednesday, May 14th. It's at Colby Sawyer College, of course, 11:30 to 1:30, and the doors open at 11 o'clock. And I want to focus right now on our nominations, because highlight of the event is the awards. So the awards are a high school student, but also a woman who lives in the community. And what's really important to know about the nominations is that we're honoring someone for their community service, for their volunteerism. If they do a fantastic job in their work life and they're really special, that's great. But if they're not doing separate volunteer work on the side, that's not the focus of the award. The award is women who do volunteer service, who give back to the community. So there's a nomination form online at www.lakesunapeevna.org. It gives some questions, things we're looking for the volunteer. What kind of person is it? How long has she done the volunteer work she's done? How many different things does she do? Tell us a little bit more about, as much as you can tell us. We always say the more detail, the best that we can get, because there's so many great women. We have a little time. We have till April 11th. That's the deadline. And then our committee will start looking at the nominations and making the selection. We do choose someone from the immediate area. We try to get different towns represented every year, so it's not always the same town. That's kind of the only other criteria besides what they've done and the depth and the impact of what they've done. So, and if you have questions, of course, you can always reach out and chat about it. But there's no real formal thing you have to do. Some people have put binders together with pictures and letters of support, and that's great. But all we really need, it can be typed out on the form, it can be sent to me in an email, is just the information. Tell us about this person. We don't have a formal way you have to present the information. So we try to keep it easy. So examples of people. Last year it was Christina Helm. Everyone knows her as Tina. And Tina, she is involved in so many things. She's involved in Rotary, she's involved with the town, she's involved with the election for years. She's been involved, I can't remember specifically her role, but she's a great example of someone who a lot of people know, because she's out there and she's on a lot of different committees and she does all kinds of things and has for so many years. Since she moved here, it's got to be probably
I do have to correct
at least
Tanya,
25
though. We've been
years.
married for 6
On the other hand, the year before, it was a lovely woman named Jane Van Bremen, who I didn't even know. And she flies under the radar. But when we read her nomination, it was incredible, all the different things she was involved with. But she was a person who, all the years I've been involved, I just didn't know her. I had no occasion to work with her. And in fact, when she got the award, for a couple of minutes after they read her name, I remember it so vividly, she couldn't believe that it was real. And she wouldn't stand up, and she was so sweet. And so I'm not saying you have to be that kind of personality, but it's really lovely when someone gets it who maybe everyone doesn't know, but then they start talking about all the things she's done. And then you have a Tina Helm, who more people do know, and that's great too. So, it's really wonderful when the person gets the award, because they're usually 99. I think probably every year very, very surprised that they were selected, because we always keep it a surprise. So we're really excited to announce our speaker, because we always have great speakers. We always find people perfect for the event. So this year it's a woman named Kate Hanley. She lives in New York State, but she has friends here, and she has actually been to the luncheon via friends at least 3 times. And she wrote a book called Breakfast Memories, A Dementia Love Story, is what it's called. And it's a book about her experience with her mother, as her mother went through memory loss and dementia. And kind of the premise of it is, everything else you lose, love never forgets. That's kind of the theme. And that's the premise. You can take a lot of things away from someone when they have memory loss or dementia, but the love is always there. And I know she's been wanting to speak because she's been to the luncheon. And she also wrote, I don't have the exact name, but she wrote a caregiver's guide to caring for someone, a loved one with dementia. She speaks all over the place. She's very involved with the Alzheimer's organization. She knows the event. And we always try to find someone who's kind of inspiring and has a message that people can resonate with. And it will the event, as you all know, will fill up very fast. So if you would like to get your seat reserved, the easiest thing to do is to call me or email me and get on the list.
Thanks, Cathy. When we come back, Amanda Leslie and Rebecca Hemingway from the Kearsarge Regional High School will give a little background on this year's Career Day. But first, another edition of underwriters that serve you and our Yankee Chronicle. You could be one too. Contact us at info@ycnow.com to learn how.
This program is supported by Main Street Bookends of Warner for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner.
You're looking at the #1 cause of lung cancer. That's why the Surgeon General issued this warning. Now you're looking at the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers. That's why the Surgeon General issued this warning. Radon is an invisible radioactive gas that seeps inside your home from underground. Whether you smoke or not, radon can cause lung cancer. Protect your family. Have your home tested. Call 1-800-SOS-RADON. Radon problems can be fixed.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. One of the valuable aspects of high school education is learning about future education and employment opportunities. Let's learn about one of the tools that our Kearsarge district provides. Hi, ladies.
College and Career Day has been a long-standing tradition at Kearsarge, but it fell by the wayside for a number of years and hasn't happened for probably 5 years. I would say last year, which was my first year as an ELO coordinator, I just had a number of conversations with people about what a great event it used to be and how nice it would be to bring it back. And through those conversations, really realized that if it was going to happen, we were going to need to do it. And so this year we formed a committee and took it on and have been working for months to plan this. And the hope is to share with students some of the many opportunities that are out there for them when they leave high school or even while they are still in high school.
I think, having worked with many community partners through our extended learning programs and being able to speak with students about their passions or what they would like to have exposure to, this type of a day really connects our community members. It brings them into our school building, and sort of the old cliche, it takes a village, but it does take a village, and it helps students who may not necessarily know about a career path or may not be clear on what their interests are for post-secondary education or professional goals after they complete their education. It really gives them the ability to connect and develop a relationship with someone where they can ask questions, where our community partner can provide them with words of wisdom. So I think it is all about holistic education.
So we're holding our College and Career Day on Friday, March 28th. We did ask all of our presenters to save Monday, the 31st, as a backup date just in case of snow, because we know how March can be. But we have really had an overwhelming response from the community and have more than 60 presenters who are going to be joining us. It's a whole day event. We're going to start out with students in their advisory groups to just remind themselves of the format of the day, make sure they know all the particulars. There will then be some back-to-back sessions, so 2 morning sessions, a midday lunch and expo, and then 2 afternoon sessions before students wrap it up with their advisors again so they can chat about what unfolded. They'll be able to see all of the different sessions that are being offered. We have some presenters who have signed up to be there all day long, offering 4 sessions and participating in the open expo in the middle of the day. And then we have other presenters who are coming just for 1 session, perhaps when is most convenient for them. And we have just such a wide variety of presenters, everyone from you, Greg, coming in to talk about videography, to a team from Eversource who are coming to talk about the wide variety of careers in their company. They're bringing, I believe, a line crew with a bucket truck. So we're going to set them up near a door so part of their presentation can happen in the classroom and part of it can happen outside. We have a representative from the Landing School of Boat Building and Design coming down from Maine. We have some of our partners at New London Hospital coming to chat with students about careers at the hospital.
We are opening the day with a keynote speaker from UNH who will speak to the power of education. And certainly we don't want to alienate students who are planning on pursuing a different type of education, whether it be through the trades or even through, school to work. So the power of education after high school, there's going to be an education in everything we're going to pursue, in everything anyone's going to pursue. So that speaker should be very motivating for our whole student body.
And he did not go immediately into higher education when he finished high school. He went into the military. So I think he's going to talk about his overall path through life. We have people from the military who are coming as well. So just a really exciting variety and array of different participants. Some of our local colleges, and we have had a number of people who have reached out to us. We contacted many of the community partners that we already have established connections with, but then we also just put out kind of a broad invitation.
I just wanted to add, we have a really fun theme for the day. It is a travel theme, and we have lays and passport books where the students' schedules will be in their passport books. Students, as they get different presenters to sign or put a stamp in their passport, they will then at the end of the day be entered for a raffle. We're having a luau lunch theme for everyone. Participants, students, faculty. So we're really encouraging everyone to embrace this, and have fun with it. Have fun attending the presentations and have fun being in the building that day.
It's going to be our passport to success.
Yes.
Thank you, Amanda and Rebecca, for organizing this event for our students. Last year, Wally Borgen introduced us to a SKIT production of radio dramas. They did an encore performance last weekend for the Center for the Arts. Let's hear the who, how, and why of these dramas. Stay with us as we bring you a few words from another underwriter that makes your Yankee Chronicle possible. Remember, buying local is a way to sustain the businesses that sustain your favorite organizations.
This program is supported by the Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Welcome back. I'm Abby Peel, your Yankee Chronicle host. We step back in time and join the Sunapee Kearsarge Intercommunity Theater in partnership with the Center for the Arts. Tell us how this production came together, Wally.
SKIT is now in its 31st year of existence. We are so excited and to be presenting these two radio shows. The first one is called Sorry, Wrong Number. And it's about a woman whose telephone gets intertwined in the 40s with another two phone calls. And so she's overhearing a plot to murder some woman. And it's really interesting. And not only am I directing it, I'm also playing the operator, the New York operator, which is such a good role for me. But that's a mystery, so I can't tell you a whole lot about it because I don't want to be a spoiler.
This program is not for the squeamish. Listen at your own risk.
Operator, I've been trying to call Murray Hill 40098 for the last half hour, and it's been busy. I don't see how it could possibly be busy that long. Can you try that number for me again, please?
I'll be glad to try that number for you. 1 moment, please. Ringing Murray Hill 40098.
Hello?
Hello, is Mr. Stevenson there?
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello, George?
Yes, this is George speaking.
Hello, who is this? What number am I calling, please?
I'm here with our client.
Oh, good. Is everything okay? Is the coast clear for tonight?
Yes, George. He says the coast is clear for tonight.
The second one is also a 30-minute radio show from Burns and Allen. And for those of you who are older, you may remember them on television, but originally they started in vaudeville, then went to radio when radio started, and then ended up on television. Well, this one is celebrating its 84th anniversary. It was aired in November 84 years ago. And it was right after a presidential election. So it was very meaningful. And one of my favorite lines, and I'm going to tell you because it's not really a spoiler, was when George said to Gracie, "Gracie, why are you running for president?" And she says, "Well, George, there's never been a woman president before." And so I thought that was a great line. And this was going to be a perfect program for this time of the year in November. So those are kind of what we did. And what's really interesting is that for those of you who aren't aware of it, radio obviously was the precursor for television, and people would gather around on Sunday evening and listen to these types of programs as a family. And it was just really, really nice. Now, I'm just old enough to remember a little bit about that. And it really was a fun time, I think, for everybody. So this is why we wanted to do it. It was a fun time, and I think that we need some fun in our life right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Wally, and to the Center for the Arts for seeding arts activities and performances in our region. They are celebrating the opening of their brand new facility in New London on April 10th. To learn more about this wonderful space and how it will be used, go to centerfortheartsnh.org. Next week, we'll step aside for the monthly edition of Cougar Chronicle. Join our Laura James and Superintendent John Fortney with Larry Elliott, the Director of Student Service, to learn about his responsibilities. April Ross, the culinary arts teacher at the high school, will give us a sample of students' tasty work. And Michael Bossett will tell us about the joy in education. And we'll close with Ask the Super, the segment on how a parent should prepare their sophomore for life beyond high school. In 2 weeks, we'll be right back here at Barton Insurance Agency as Ben gives us his thoughts on how to assess your insurance needs. Sage Tokash from the New London Barn Playhouse will tell us about summer activities for our kids and more. We'll hear from Kate Nebely from the Library Arts Center about their regional show. And we'll close with some interviews that students shot at this year's Career Day at the Kearsarge Regional High School. Don't miss our Game of the Week replays on Comcast 8, TDS TV 13 and 1013, and on YCNNow.com every Sunday and Monday at noon and 7 p.m. This week we have a classic, the 1998 Class I Girls Basketball Championship featuring our Cougars. I'm Abby Peel. Tune in at this same time next week for another Yankee Chronicle. Let's bloom into spring.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. Main Street Bookends of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire, the Innertown Record.